Welcome back to Behind the Gloves. I'm Gassing and I'm being joined by heavyweight prospect Tommy Welch. How are you, bro?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. Very well.
Just jumping straight into it, May 22nd. How's camp going?
Camp's good. I mean, you've been to the house now, so yeah, we're pretty locked in. So I'm ready to show what we've been working on to come fight night.
Before we kind of talk more about fight night and talk about how your camp's been going in some detail, your dad's done pretty well in the boxing world. He set you up quite nicely. And I think we were talking about Conor Ben there off camera. He kind of says that he was the hardest worker in the room, even though he wakes up in silk pajamas and drives his Range Rover. So on the basis that your dad's done really well, where do you find motivation? Because you don't really have to fight, do you? Your dad's linked with the WBC, you live in a nice house, you don't need to fight. So where do you find the motivation to get up in the morning and train and continue your professional career?
I think it comes down to just enjoying, really enjoying fighting, to be honest. I know that sounds a little bit sort of like gimmicky, doesn't it? You know, I'm a boxer, fighter, I enjoy fighting, of course. But I mean, I don't find any passion or any love in doing anything else. You know, fighting for me is the only thing that, you know, really thrills me. Sort of, I'm a bit of a thrill seeker, so getting in the ring and being able to, you know, attack someone is beautiful. You know? Yeah, so I'm not one that drives a Range Rover or wears silk pajamas, you know, but I can do, yeah, you're right. So my mum and dad have worked their socks off, and my dad's done what he's done in this game to provide me a good life, and I've got a great life, and I don't have to fight, no, I choose to fight. Like Conor said in the previous interviews before, you know, fear the man that chooses to fight, not because he has to fight.
And in terms of it's obvious what your mindset's like sitting here in front of you. But just for those that it's not coming across to you in a camera, what in terms of your mindset, like, did your dad have a lot to do with how your mindset is, or is it all you in terms of wanting to fight and being in the ring and using your own words, smash people up?
I mean, living with a real gorilla, it was never easy, no. So. Yeah, he's put the mindset on me from a young kid, to be honest. He's all about mindset. My dad's a very, very strong-minded man. Even through his career, he was a hard, you know, to beat him, you would have to outsmart him because you wouldn't outwork him. And so his mindset has always he's instilled that in me to work hard, keep your feet on the ground and you know, break the boundaries. So yeah, mindset's a big thing for us, definitely.
And I was watching the Hennessy kind of live thing, and I was quite taken back by the story that you told me, not told me, but told the people that are watching about sparring your dad when you were 15. Yeah. Just for those that didn't watch the Hennessy live thing on Instagram, how did that sparring go?
Yeah, I mean, great. It was a great lesson, I would say. Not great, because I got my ass kicked, but it was a great lesson. I was sparring my dad at, 15 years old, obviously. I was big kid, I was 15 stone at 15 years old, and I was starting to sort of feel myself a little bit, as young kids do, yeah? I'm looking at my old man thinking, you know, you know, he's not old, but he's old in the game now. So being a fighting man he is, and a young fighting kid I thought I could test him. So I said, come on, Dad, put the gloves on, let's see if you've still got it or not. And he put the gloves on, and that was probably the worst thing that I asked him to do. I was, you know, we was having a little play. Obviously we do pads a lot, and my dad's pads ain't these sort of show pads. He will slap you around the face when you're dropping your hand, and he'll catch you with a shot like you're sparring. So it's always sort of been in my mind to feel, you know, let's see if he can still move or not. So anyway, long story short, I asked him to put the gloves on, puts the gloves on. I'm picking him with a jab, boom, 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 and I'm smiling at him, and I'm going, come on, boom, catching him with a good jab. I mean, I've got 4 or 5 inches in reach on him, so picking him off was quite easy until he slipped one shot. He's touched me with a body shot that almost cut me in half, right? And he said he went into a little bit of a zone where he forgot that I was his boy, and he was just about to land the next shot, and he whizzed it past my chin, and I screamed. I was like, "The fuck are you doing?" Sorry, you can edit that, right?
No, you can swear, it's fine.
You know, what are you doing? And he was like, don't ever ask me to spar, you know. I can't. After he broke it down to me, I can't control being able to spar easy with you, because I guess now understanding being in camp and stuff, when we're sparring hard, you know, we're trying to knock everyone out, or we're sparring that hard, anyone, you know, you can go or they can go, you know, so you're sparring at that level. He hasn't sparred for years, and I've asked him, I brought him out of retirement, and I'm picking him off. He goes back into fight zone, and he's cut me with a body shot, and he was going to finish me off with a head shot, and he stopped, you know. Like, I shouldn't have pressured him, but I did, and I fancied it, and here I am still cracking on. So it was a good lesson, but you know, it was a tough lesson, that's for sure.
Well, that sounds like a great lesson. And just kind of
one, you know, don't ever offer your old man up, boxing or not boxing, because you know, you should respect your elders, definitely.
great message there. Yeah, definitely respect your elders. And just like kind of talking about camp, you've obviously got Idris Virgo, who's relocated down here. Nick Webb, who's had a great win recently, is now training with you guys down here. Obviously Chris Eubank trains down here, who's got a big fight this weekend. Talk to me a bit about having them in camp, and how you kind of all lift each other, and what improvements they've made to your game, both mentally and physically.
I mean, it's been, obviously, having my dad been, you know, training fighters. I wouldn't say briefly trained fighters, because he's always really had his, you know, feet in the game, but he's always had other things going on as well. So he's not, you wouldn't class him as a full-time trainer. He is a full-time trainer, but he isn't a full-time trainer. He's got businesses and stuff going on as well. So he's always dabbled with a few fighters. So me growing up, I've always seen a couple of pros training and being around, watching their careers. There was a fighter called Ben Murphy, for instance. He boxed Ashley Theopain. He was a tough fighter that I watched, whose career sort of unfold in front of me. There was Lloyd Elliott as well, who my dad looked after, got him to a decent level. And then Nick Webb come along, and that was great to watch Nick's career. So I've been with Nick since the start. We sparred, and then sort of after the sparring, I think they had a chat or whatever, and they created a good relationship, and it's still to this day a great relationship. And I've watched Nick come from no fights to, you know, where he's at now, which is a great level. Hopefully carrying on, you know, progressing on to bigger things as well. So for me to have that around me, as well as even for Eubank, he's been in my gym as well from the start. He's been in the gym since he was 15 years old, you know, as well as going to America and coming back. I've always watched his career closely. For me, watching on an outside perspective, I can see, for instance, things that they haven't done that perhaps I'll do in my career, and things they've done that maybe I won't do in my career. So it's been a great lesson for me to watch over these guys' careers. But I mean, talking of camps, obviously Nick's with us, you know, now I'm at this level of turning, you know, pro. I've had my first fight. He's helped me a lot. I've helped him in the past, and we've worked closely as a team. Idris is now in the camp. We're all sort of helping each other. He's obviously a super middle, sort of / middle, so he's a bit lighter than us, but you know, every now and then we still put the gloves on, we still use each other to do a few rounds to keep each other sort of technically in shape, you know. So we've got to help each other. Teamwork is a dream. So yeah, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Yes, it does. It definitely does. And I know we've kind of been in contact like outside of this interview, and we've kind of spoken a bit about like trying to secure fights in other places. But how happy are you that the May 22nd is locked in and you've got a fight date and something to work towards?
Yeah, I mean, I've been ready since I last fought. I mean, yeah, I boxed in December. I'm a little bit behind schedule. I was ready to fight in January. I was ready to fight in February. I've been ready. So the fact that now I've got a proper date set, May 22nd, I'm excited. I'm just sort of like, I'm like a horse chomping at the bit. ready to come out of the blocks, you know. So yeah.
Is there any news on your opponent and what you're going to do to your opponent?
No news on the opponent. I think they're still digging him up at the moment.
When you say digging him up, are you going to put him back in the ground?
Yeah, he's going back in the box, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And obviously, your first fight out was on a Mick Hennessy card. Is that something that's going to be a bit more permanent now? Are you? Well, I'll just ask you outright. Are you planning on signing with Mick Hennessy? Have you signed with Mick Hennessy? And what does your future look like with him?
So yeah, I'm with Mick Hennessy now. He's a great man. He's sort of, there was a few talks with a few different promoters, and Mick was the guy that sort of his energy was right. You know, we had a good talk, and I was happy to be in his camp. I think he's got some good fighters under him, and yeah, I'm pleased to be where I am. So yeah, there will be more fights in the future for sure. Hopefully bring him down to Brighton, you know.
Well, fingers crossed and get him down to Brighton. And I want to ask you this question because I'm really interested to know what your response is. But have you got a message for the domestic heavyweights that you may possibly come up against?
You know, I wish you nothing but success in your careers, and if we ever cross paths, I hope you'll be as ready as I will be, because I'm not taking this game lightly. If you're in this game, in this business, take it seriously. It's a very serious game, and I'm here to do some damage.
And in terms of the rest of 2021, what would the perfect 2021 look like for you?
Get out as much as possible. You know, Tyson had 28 fights in his first year. You know, I want as many fights as I can. So it's a great journey. I'm pleased to be involved in boxing. I've got some great people around me. I just want to shout out some sponsors as well that have been really sort of benefiting, helping me on my way. So I'm benefiting from KSD. I've got Ted, Ned and Chris. They're great guys from Brighton they're really supporting me. So yeah.
And I know growing up, obviously we spoke about it in the last interview, and we've spoken a bit about it now, but obviously your dad's quite well connected. He has links with like the WBC cares, and you've spent your childhood around a lot of great champions. You've met Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury. So just a quick one to kind of round off. The big fight is looming, AJ Fury. Who's your winner and why?
I mean, first and foremost, I hope this fight definitely comes off. There's been a lot of stop-starts. In my eyes, they're great fighters, both of them. I've spent time with both of them. They're both very good men. They're fighting men. I believe they'll put a great, entertaining show on. You know, you'll never know. Maybe we get 2 fights out of them, not just one. So, who do I believe will come out victorious is what you're asking, yeah. So, I think Joshua's a phenomenal athlete and a very professional man. It's hard. I don't just want to jump straight in and say, oh, one guy will beat the other guy. There's got to be a winner. My money would be on Fury, because I think it comes more natural to him. I think his father was a fighter. His grandfather was a fighter, probably similar to me, you know, like we can wake up at any time of the night and do what we do, you know. I think Joshua was more of a athletic man, obviously, who probably started later on, and he's had a phenomenal career, an absolute career you could only dream about having. And I don't know, man. I think who deserves to win? Whoever's put the right work in deserves it, right? But I think if I was to say, you know, going on Fury's last performance and Joshua's last performance, I would say Fury comes out victorious, yeah.
Well, perfect. That's a perfect place to end. And before we sign off, do you have a message for your supporters, your haters, anybody that be watching this?
Love me or hate me, I hope you watch me. That's all that matters, man. Thanks for coming down as well, guys. So, yeah, you know, big up everyone.
Well, Tommy Welch, thanks for talking to us here at Behind the Gloves. We're obviously going to catch up with you again Fight Week, May 22nd, live on Channel 5, so please tune in. Thanks, pal.
fight fans. Didn't see you there. If you guys haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go to do so by clicking right here, or else.